Welcome to another episode of Kai-Zen Consciousness. Today I thought we'd take a look at midlife. Welcome, Ehnes here. This is Kai-Zen Consciousness, where you can learn to master your life from the inside out. Midlife. So, what's that all about? I mean, here it is, one day you wake up and, hey, AARP found you in the mailbox. And they go, happy birthday, welcome to the rest of your life, or the second half of your life, or the going downhill phase of your life. And, hey, do you remember certain things? Senior moment, discounts at the local buffet. It goes on and on. All of a sudden, you feel like you just got put out to pasture simply because of some random day called your birthday and it was 50. I simply just didn't want to accept this, nor did I quite understand how this all of a sudden happened, really by going to sleep and then waking up and you awaken in this altered universe. So 50, midlife, has usually been called a midlife crisis. Are you kidding me? What the heck is that? I don't know. Midlife crisis. You grow, you have a right to expand, you have a right to become something else. Maybe if you've been a giver, you start to think about yourself, or vice versa. Maybe you want to expand and start to contribute. Remember, we talked about all those needs. Now all of a sudden it becomes some sort of crisis. So I went to Google and I typed in midlife, and the way that it finishes all that out for you, the only thing that really pops up after midlife is crisis. 7 signs you've arrived, 8 steps on how to get through it, 9 Corvettes you need to buy, and I guess somehow a partridge in a pear tree. I couldn't believe it. Midlife, crisis, 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 crisis. How is this a crisis? This is absolutely amazing. Now, I will tell you, there are obviously things that transpire, such as if you don't work your body right and you have been sedentary for decades, well, it's no wonder that you're stuck and you're stiff, or that you're hurt, or that you have a cornucopia of pills that the doctor has prescribed, or you've gotten all the supplements in the world and it takes you 10 glasses of water to swallow everything. This is just all showing things are out of balance. Balance, everything has a purpose, everything has a function, and at the end of the day, what you're aiming for, starting with the beginning of the day, is to intentionalize, to move towards growth and fulfillment. And this is for both men and women. Midlife, you're in it. You find yourself waking up one day and somebody says, hey, you're on the back 9, which means you're on the second half of your life. And since your life expectancy is in the 80s, that's not even true. At 50, you have already conquered 60% of your life. Well, what if that's not how you think? I mean, all of a sudden you're supposed to put yourself out to pasture. Netflix no longer makes shows that fit your viewing age because it is not the targeted age of 30 to 35, as if everybody needs to somehow live there, or even younger. Somehow you're supposed to buy into the life of somebody coming of age. Well, we're coming of age, all right, but we're coming up of a different age, the midlife age. The more mature age, not the out to pasture age, but the, hey, I've really learned my stuff. I think I have something to offer. I want to contribute. I have some energy. I'm ready to go. That's the kind of age we're talking about here. All right, so at 50, if you've done the traditional steps, you have gotten yourself some sort of education, be it college or real life. You have gotten yourself into some sort of career track. You probably have tried long-term relationships. You've gotten married. If you're statistically like 60% of the folks that have gotten married, you have gotten divorced. You most likely have kids. Those kids have moved on. So at 50, you're at the tail end of those kids being in your house. Maybe at the beginning stages already of being grandparents, depending on, the pace of everything. But you're finding yourself in this intricate place. It's an in-between spot. Your kids are starting to move out. Your parents are starting to age. If they're still around, you're at the point of where you have some freedom, but you realize that there are family obligations on both ends. You realize you have obligations to yourself. So with those obligations, psychology has stepped in and given us a fair shake of labeling and determining really things that are wrong with us. And the happiness movement has sort of gotten a fluff / frou-frou kind of stigma attached to it. But really, I mean, if you think about it, here is your life, right? You have to make changes. You have to take the bull by the horn, so to speak. You have to take charge. This should already be happening when you're younger, but you're definitely doing it now that you're in your 50s. You have the right to set yourself up however you want to. I'm certainly not trying to judge, but what I am saying to you is, if you're asking and you're getting questions from either your higher self or a deeper space within you, and those questions are, hey, why are you really here? And then we get into your needs, which are all those areas that move and motivate you. Well, if that's all true, at 50, you have a much subtler sense of what's going on. And you get to start making those moves that are really about giving you the true pleasure and fulfillment that your life is really meant to be. So really, this is about integration. You're integrating parts of yourself. If you've done the work, if you've explored the shadow, you have found that you have left pieces of yourself throughout your entire life somewhere. There's a piece left in your childhood. Maybe there were some bad experiences. Maybe there were some good experiences, but you've left pieces hanging out, and now in your 50s, you get to pull all those back in from all those areas that you reach into. Maybe you want to start that next career. Maybe you want to start a second career while you're maintaining your primary one. Maybe you want to get into that hobby you've always thought should be your true expression of yourself. You start to take classes. You start to learn it. You start to really put the emphasis and the effort and the integrity into who you really are, and it starts to show itself. Guaranteed people around you are going to notice this. So thanks for watching. And stay tuned for another episode of Kai-Zen Consciousness, where the possibilities are endless.